This is the new Vertigo XC. They're calling it the XC. It is not a huge change from the old Vertigo. The biggest difference is that this upper support frame, instead of being hinged and folding, this upper support frame is just one piece. What that allows them to do also is offset the entire upper support frame for the motor torque. Now in this case, because it's a Moster, and to offset for the torque of a Moster, which is a belt drive motor, the entire offset is slightly one way. Now if you had a Cosmos on this, the entire offset would be slightly the opposite direction because the Cosmos is a geared redrive motor and it torques in the opposite direction. In addition, the fact that this is all one piece just means this is your support frame. I mean, there's no chance that this is going to break or come apart because it's one solid piece of stainless steel, very thick tubes. And the harness has some minor changes to it. The Vertigo's always been our most comfortable harness. It's been our most comfortable trike. It's like riding in Grandpa's Barca Lounger when you fly this thing. And they've made that even better with these a little bit more of an extension for the legs and a lot of really nice cushiony support in the harness. So we're really excited to fly this. For you guys that are running schools, I can tell you there is not, in my opinion, a better trike to train students on. The Vertigo is absolutely amazing. It's got a super low center of gravity. It's got a wide wheelbase. It's got plenty of student protection. So number one, it's because of those first two reasons I mentioned, it's really, really hard to roll this over. You got to make some pretty big mistakes to get this thing tippy. In addition, because it's got so much protection, if a student does roll it over, they're going to be well protected. Your student's not going to get hurt. Finally, it's got some features that we haven't put on this trike yet. We are going to be putting them on it, but that are awesome for schools. One, we've got a rear cage that mounts in less than 3 minutes on the back of this trike. So for you new pilots or you guys running schools, if sometimes the glider inflates and it overshoots the student and then it collapses. And when it collapses, it comes down on the spinning prop. Well, we call that glider salad. It's really expensive. So having the rear cage on there makes that almost 100% impossible for the glider to get into the prop. And I can tell you in our school, it's saved thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in glider repairs and time and everything else you can imagine. So that rear cage is a really nice option. It does pull off about maybe 10% of your available thrust, but still, we're putting students in this trike that weigh, my heaviest student in a Moster 185 Vertigo that I've trained was 320 pounds. And it flew him no problem. It's a big seat, there's plenty of room, it's really nice, it can fit anybody. The other feature that this has available is called a stinger system. And what the stinger system is, this is only going to be for schools, but it's a wheelie bar in the back with a switch on it. And you got an arm and disarm switch on the trike. So as an instructor, if I've got a new student who's doing solo taxiing for the very first couple times, I'm going to arm this stinger system. And the way it works, if even one of the rear wheels comes off the ground an inch, that wheelie bar in the back is going to activate a switch which grounds out the motor and instantly kills the motor. So it makes it impossible for the student, A, to get off the ground because the motor will die, or B, if the trike even starts to roll over, it's instantly going to kill the power and most likely save the trike from rolling over. So that's also a really nice feature. And as an instructor, you can just walk up and arm and disarm that system and use it when you want. And then when the student's ready to taxi without that system on, you're confident in their ability, you just turn that off. And I think that's off the top of my head, it's about a $250 add-on to get that system. And then the rear cage is about a $750 add-on to get that with the Vertigo trike. So we do have a lot of new students that like having the rear cage as well, not just for schools, they just like the idea of having that protection.
Sweet.
All the Vertigos come with a support stand. You can take this off when you're flying if you want, or you can leave it on the trike, but it's great for assembling it. And what we did is we just flipped it so it's facing down, so it supports the entire weight of the trike, keeps everything horizontal to the ground, and then we can build it, and then we can decide afterwards, once the wheels are on, whether we want to take that off the trike completely, or we can flip it into the upright, ready to go position for any future builds. So the prior version of the Vertigo the main support frame that the glider connects to was completely part of the trike, and it folded up with the trike. This is a little bit different in that we actually have to detach it, or attach it in this case, as we put it together.
Yep.
But it also looks like it's a smaller package altogether, and it's going to be way less confusing if you want to break this down. And these fittings that we see here don't require any tools, so I'm going to have to remove this first, but it's just a matter of spinning this off, and then take note of where the offset is. What I mean by that is on the right side facing forward, there's a nylon offset here. When we put this back together, you want to make sure this is on the right. Same thing with the connecting point at the bottom part of that main support. Nylon offsets on the right, and that's to counteract engine torque. That's why these are offset, so the entire main support frame is actually going to be offset from the engine to reduce torque effect from the engine. When we're connecting, we want to make sure this reserve bridle is not behind the pin, because if it is, your reserve isn't going to be able to deploy properly. So that's your left-hand side reserve bridle. So we're going to take our pins. We're going to remove that first. We're going to screw this on. And this is all stainless steel hardware that is made in-house at Fly Products. This is not cheap stuff. Okay, so we got that tight. And then lastly, what the pin is for is just so that if for some reason this were to loosen, and I'll demonstrate this. This is a lock pin, by the way. I can't pull it out without pushing the button. If for some crazy reason this were to loosen, you can see it can only get that far. So there's no way for this to come off as long as this lock pin is in place. That's easy, much easier than regular Vertigo. Okay, so same thing on the top lock pin for the main support. We're just going to screw this on. Again, stainless steel parts, all welded and made in-house at Fly Products. Very easy, very heavy duty. And get that tight. And then again, we put the lock pin in. Can't get the pin out, and that way it can't loosen because that's as far as it will get. And that's it. Main frame is on. This is the right-hand side axle. When it comes in the box, it's probably going to be folded up, and you need to unfold it. Make sure it goes to the correct wheel. You can see there's no wheel on this right now. We're going to do that after we attach the axle. The axle has 3 points at where it connects. There's a pin that goes here. This goes out horizontal with the wheel at the end. And then there's a pin here, and then there's a pin up here. So the axle is pinned at 3 locations, and that's for, this is one of the most important parts of your trike. The actual axle itself is 100% stainless steel solid, and this is milled in-house at Fly Products. I don't think you guys are going to find another trike maker in the world that uses an axle that's made out of solid milled stainless steel. It doesn't get any stronger than that. And then in addition, it's not just supported where it connects to the swivel point on the trike, it connects to a swivel point laterally and vertically as well, and that provides additional support. So we've got it suspended from up top, and then we will go to this fore and aft support here. And then lastly, the axle itself. Okay, so that is the right side. Top, fore and aft, and then the axle itself. It comes out this direction from the trike. 1, 2, 3, that side's done.
No kidding. Yep.
Yay. That one's in. So we've got the left axle and the right axle. And next we're going to do wheels. That way we can take it off the support stand. Okay, wheels are super easy. 6mm hex wrench. Take the nut off. Slide the wheel on with the fill port to the outside. Is probably going to be easiest for you later on. This piece here, you're going to see what this does later, but it's a bungee cord that goes from here to the cage. That way there's no chance of glider lines getting into the prop arc. There is a washer here as well, and you want that on the outside. All right, and that one is done. What we're gonna do next, guys, is take off this support stand. Or maybe not take it off. We're gonna take this one off completely. We're gonna use this in our school. We don't need the support stand. So we're gonna remove the pins because later on, we're gonna be using this same place to put what we call a stinger training system on here. Okay. Okay, so now the trike is on its wheels. I'm gonna put these pins back into here so we don't lose them in case we wanna use this in the future. We probably will not for the purpose of our school, but you guys might want to keep this at home in case you're going to be folding this trike up for the sake of transport. And this makes it really easy to take the axles off and to put them back on along with the wheels. Okay, so we're undoing this Velcro strap, and if you look at this strap, this has the pin on it. Now there's a reason why this doesn't have a push pin like the other spars, and the reason why is because the back of your helmet's right here. And what we found in earlier versions of the Vertigo is if it had a push pin and you had vents in the back of your helmet, that push pin could catch the vents and you'd have a hard time getting your head detached from the pin, which is never a good thing when you're flying. So a little bit of a different type of pin on this top spar here. We're gonna pin this side, and then there's also a backside pin right here. There we go. So the pins are in. We're gonna tighten the Velcro. We're gonna twist it around itself and attach the Velcro, and that's in. We need to put the reserve bridle on top of this, okay? Again, this is the reserve bridle for the left-hand side. So if that reserve goes, you don't want it underneath this piece here. So on top, and then we're gonna put those together, put our pin through, and that's done. So one more thing you can see, you don't want this flopping in the wind and being ugly. So you've got a piece of neoprene, call this reserve bridle protection here. We're gonna undo that, and then we're gonna get all this extra, get it nice and tight, put that neoprene piece around it, attach the Velcro, and that just cleans everything up. So this isn't flopping in the wind now, it's nice and tight, attached underneath that neoprene bridle protection. All right, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the remaining parts of the seat here. So it's really just this one clasp. We're gonna press the red button to release it. We're gonna wrap this around the back side of the vertical frame and then reattach it just like that. This piece just attaches to the back of the headrest. And all this stuff on this trike is adjustable. So if you want to lean back more or more forward, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, and there is one last strap on the harness that needs to be attached, and that's this lower piece, and that's going to go right there, okay? And again, you do have adjustments here. If you want to tighten that up a little bit, make it a little bit more upright, you can do that. And then lastly, we're going to step over to the other side. The reserve on this trike comes completely assembled, completely attached in this container, ready to go, except for one singular buckle, which is on this back right part of the reserve. And then you'll see this on the axle. And then we just attach that right there. And again, that's for the container. You got 4 attachment points for the container. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the reserve container. And then of course you guys can see that the bridle is routed up, attached very nicely via reserve bridle protection to the back of the harness, and then splits off. Right side attaches to this carabiner here, and then goes up and around over the top and attaches to the left side carabiner as well. Again, this is already attached when you buy the Vertigo trike, already on the trike, ready to go. And it's even got Velcro on top. You can put Velcro in the back of your phone, slap your phone there, or whatever you want, and pull it off. You got a place to put that if you'd like. You've got the 16-liter fuel tank, is the standard fuel tank for the Vertigo. And then in your little box of spare parts, you're gonna have this long strap with a buckle at the end and a bunch of Velcro on it. So this strap routes around the back of the vertical frame, and then it goes on each side of the, this is one of these is the vent, and one of these is actually the fuel intake, and it comes down the front of the tank like this, wraps around the bottom frame, and then it's going to go through the buckle, come back through, and you can see there's Velcro down here. So we're going to bring it up there, get it nice and tight, put it across the Velcro, and that's it. Tank's attached. Now we have to connect the lines to the fuel tank. So you can't screw this up. All Vertigos come with quick disconnects. The reason why Fly Products does this is to make it very easy to fold this trike up, and to fold it up, you need to take off the fuel tank. So make sure you're just going female to male, and you can't mess it up. They just click in, and that's it. Ready for fuel, good to go.
All right, so we want to make sure that when we attach the hoop, that the net, I always start at the top just so I can let go, but you want to make sure that this net is actually in front of these spars. That way, nothing gets in to the prop. Okay, drop those on. Okay, the next part is we have these Velcros right here. So we'll go ahead and undo the Velcro. And in order to install these, you want to make sure that the logo is facing out. So they'll go over top, through the buckle on the back side, tighten it down, and then flip it back over. Logo's on the outside. And we've got 6 of these straps on the hoop. Okay. It is taller than me, but no need to tell anybody else that. Okay, so all 6 straps are complete. The next thing we want to do is we'll go back to the front of the trike, and we've got 2 things to do on each side. The first is going to be to connect your netting. So we have a bungee strap right here that will bring this down and connect the netting to, and that makes it stay nice and tight. We also have a strap on the back of the spar right here, and this will connect in to that metal piece on the wheel. And this keeps lines from getting underneath your hoop and into your prop. We'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Line catch. Last check, make sure that the net is completely outside of the hoop and that it's tight all the way around. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we have our prop spacer. Secondly, when you're putting your props together, always make sure that we have the logo and that it looks the same on each side. If you don't have that, you'll know pretty quickly once you try running the motor. So we'll get the prop spacer on, and then we have a prop plate. So we'll line this all up together, and we'll start putting our prop bolts in. We also have a washer on each of these bolts. It's a lot easier to put together a prop when it's laying down on a flat surface. We'll hand tighten each of these bolts and get them threaded just with our hands first. We want to make sure that we do not cross thread them. Once I've started the threads on each of them, we can come back and use our Allen key. We'll do this in a star pattern instead of a circle pattern. That way it's tight evenly all around. All right, everything is hand tight. We'll go back, make sure everything is tightened. One more time. Okay, so next we have our pull start that we need to go ahead and install. So we'll reach down here. We do have a pulley for the pull start right here. And this is going to attach on to this hoop up here. If you do it from the right side, might be a little easier. Okay, we're connected through. Now we'll go ahead and put that safety ring through. Don't have to worry about that pin coming out. All right, we also have a bungee right here, and this bungee hooks down onto this hoop right here. And the reason we do that is, let's say you're flying and you want to reach up to pull start and restart. You grab onto the bungee, reach up, and you're able to pull start your motor from the seat. So we have a 140 prop. It's a 2-blade on a Moster 185 with a 2.8 reduction. And this is the new Vertigo Moster XC. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that XC means, but we're really excited to get this into our school and to start using this new motor. This thing has been, our last one was a workhorse. So there's a couple different options with the Vertigo trike. So this is the first option with the Moster on it, and we have a 140 prop on it. But you can also put a Cosmos on this Vertigo and put a 150 prop on it. So it makes that much more option for power and prop size, and you can fit all the way up to a 150 on this particular hoop and frame setup.
Okay, so on video, it took us 65 minutes to put that together because we were trying to do video work. We could actually put this together in under 30 minutes by ourselves. We're hoping that this video makes it easy for you guys who are interested in getting a Vertigo, making it very simple and easy for you to put it together. And then in the future, if you want to travel with it and you need to break it down small because you don't have a big enclosed trailer, you can see that it's quite easy with a matter of some pins. And the only thing that I think we needed a tool for was the propeller. There's nothing else you need a tool for to put this together out of the box or to break it back down to travel. Thank you for watching, guys. If you have any questions, you can reach us at 1-833-BE-ALIVE, info@oneupadventures.com. We're happy to answer any questions that you've got. And if you're interested in purchasing a Vertigo trike or any other Fly Products paramotor or trike, give us a shout. Thank you.
Yes, 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 we can.
Hey, guys!
That wasn't awesome.